amidst all the political mudslinging that's come with a revelation that our security agencies are not checking every visa entrant from Gaza, it might be easy to overlook the community most at risk from escalating tensions, and that's, of course, Jewish Australians. This week's brought into sharp focus the political reality that Labor's caught between votes in electorates like Watson and Blaxland and managing Australia's national security. But this has been an issue for the Jewish community a lot longer than just before October 7. Joining me now to discuss this, President of the Australian Jewish Association, Dr. David Adler. David, thank you for your time. I mean, you've written beautifully in the Spectator today about how Labor's rhetoric before the election to your community just doesn't align with what's happened since they've got into office. Take my viewers through what you've had to say.
Well, Peter, great to join you, and thank you so much for giving my article a plug, online now and in the next print edition of the Spectator magazine. Basically, the theme is that the Jewish community has to face an uncomfortable truth, and that is that we were conned prior to the last election. We were repeatedly assured by the Labor Party that there was bipartisan policy when it came to Israel and Jewish community matters. And as soon as the election was over, policy shifts started to occur, and to our dismay accelerated after the 7th of October. And the article details those, and I actually put the case that Labor is serving the extremist jihadist type supporters more than the national interest of Australia and the community of Australia. It might sound like a pretty harsh assessment, but people can read the list of policy shifts and draw their own conclusion. But Peter, allow me this indulgence, because one of the themes running through your show, and indeed debate today, has been an allegation that Peter Dutton is racist. This is an absolute nonsense. All he's been talking about is important security issues, but it's also nonsense from a technical point of view, because we're talking about people from Gaza or Arab Palestinians. Now, the races in the region that are relevant are Jewish people and Arabs, and he is not proposing a ban on Arabs. He's not proposing a ban, say, on people from Saudi Arabia or the UAE. He's being very, very focused, as he needs to be. And to say that it's racist is either ignorant or malicious. Gazans or Arab Palestinians are no more a race than saying Victorians or, say, Canberrians are a distinct race. It's just a nonsense.
It's a political tactic, David. I mean, I think Zali Steggall there was running interference for Labor. They've had 3 days of really terrible headlines on this issue. They've been mired in immigration problems for now months and months and months. I think they thought the reshuffle would give them clear air. But he's not saying security check some and not others and choosing those people by race. He's saying security check all of them because they're coming from a war zone. Now, if Zali Steggall doesn't think that is good practice, then she's letting down all Australians. I want to get a comment from you. Just this afternoon, news has broken that the president of Columbia University, this obviously is in the US, Manoush Shafiq, she has stepped down after the ongoing protests over the war. Columbia, of course, is one of those Ivy League schools that were really in the gun when they tolerated those horrific anti-Semitic protests. She's now the third of those high-profile Ivy League university presidents to fall on their sword. Any surprises, David?
Well, obviously it's not a surprise, and of course the Jewish people are known for being generous philanthropists, including for the funding of universities, and I suspect that a number of prominent donors turned the tap off, and maybe this accelerated or forced her demise. But I think there's a big lesson here for Australian universities. The administrators of some of our prominent universities, and I will call out universities like the University of Sydney and the University of Adelaide. They have not been effective at all in dealing with the explosion of anti-Semitism on their campuses. And we have a Minister for Education who ultimately is responsible, Jason Clare, and to come full circle on the motives, Jason Clare's electorate has a very large Muslim voting constituency. I think it's around 30%.
About a third.
And maybe that explains the inaction in Australia, because my goodness, it's become toxic. We're looking forward to the Senate inquiry, hopefully, that will eventuate, and all credit to Sarah Henderson and Julian Leeser for pushing it, because some of the heads of our universities really need to roll on this issue as well.
Just like they have in the States. David Adler, thank you.